Hey everyone, this is Adam. We're over at my shop now. I wanted to show you some progress here on the Beta 500 build. So I first had to start out by removing the factory engine mounts so we at least get the engine fitted into the frame. I see now that I'm going to have to cut out this this pipe because it's going to be in the way of the exhaust. So I'll lower that down and that'll be in line with where the new front engine mount will be. So what I had to do first was I had to drill out the KX 500 cases to 17 millimeter for the larger Beta swing arm pivot. So I drilled that out, got the engine in there, aligned the sprockets so it'd run true, and then I machined some spacers to fill the gaps there. After that, we had to set the height of the front sprocket, because that's important. Because if that height was, say, that was too low, it'd be pulling the chain over top of the chain slider real hard. It would probably want to be cutting that. So we took a factory Beta on a stand, put a straight edge from the axle bolt to the center of the swing arm pivot. So got a line coming through here, then measured from that straight edge down to where the center of the front sprocket is. So I took that measurement and I just replicated that on this bike. I put the shock on it, had it sitting here, straight edge, then just measured straight down and set that height there. So you can see with, like, at droop, there's a little bit of a crown to it where it's riding on the slider, but you figure at that point you're off the ground probably. There's not really like a load on the rear wheel. And then as it compresses, this table's hydraulic, so I can lower it. So say as your swing arm was to compress, you can see the chain actually leaves the slider. So yeah, so I say these measurements all replicate a stock Beta, so it should be good. Say this next step, what I'm gonna have to do now is I'm gonna pull it back apart so I can cut this out and clean it all up. And then I'm gonna start doing the engine mounts. I'm gonna do a little CAD design, which is the original CAD cardboard. So we're gonna make up some new engine mounts for here and for the bottom, and then I'll end up making I'll do some aluminum plate for up here. I'll make some aluminum plate mounts there. So yeah, get going. Alright, so I got it all back together again. Pipes removed, now I can start making the mounts. I decided to put the straight edge back on and check the measurements one more time, just because once we make those mounts, we're committed. So yeah, I figured I'd show you. So yeah, so like I'm measuring fine the center of the rear, center of the front, and then I put this little, I got a little square, put off the counter shaft sprocket there, the little front sprocket, and measure from the straight edge to the center. So Yep. For one thing I'd show you that's pretty neat on this is, I mean, how well this thing fits in that frame. And like the Kickstarter, it clears, and then let's see it clears the frame there, and then it comes down, it just clears the frame there. So really couldn't fit any better. Yep, so now we'll start making the mounts. Alright, so I got the upper mounts figured out. I guess I'd call them the front. Pretty nice. Then I got the new crossbar in. Kind of fit together. Sorry I didn't take a video of me making them, just because jumping all over the place. So all I did was just trace them out onto a flat piece of steel, and then I cut them out on the bandsaw, and then I got the belt sander and the bender over there and the grinder and whatever else. So jumping all over. But yeah, I'll get the I'll probably tack these in place with the TIG, and then I'll make the lower, and then we'll weld it all up. Alright, so now I got the front mounts tacked, and then I got the lower mounts built. So they're good. Haven't tacked them on yet, but I think what I'm going to do now, I think I'm going to pull the rear wheel off, and then I'll clean the bench off, get a blanket laid down, get it so I can like lay the bike on the table, and get to welding on it. I'll weld as much as I can, and then we'll have to take the engine back out and finish it up. There we go. Mounts are all welded. Quite positive those aren't going anywhere. So next, set this down. Next I need to put the engine back in, then we can work on the upper mounts. Off of this little spot here, I need to put a little tab there for the brake pedal return spring. So just a little welding there, and then yeah, let's see, get the engine back in. Upper mount, little spring holder, figure out where that goes. Get the subframe on, start looking at the carburetor, and then next will be exhaust. Alright, so now I'm working on the upper motor mount. So this is where I'm at right now. Kind of explain to you what I've been doing. So I just started out with a rough idea. This actually goes on the other side, but I'll kind of show you, just get something that roughly fits in there. And what I did is I started with this hole here. So I centered this hole, drilled it, got it bolted up with one hole, or with one bolt. And then from the back side, just took a, let's see here, took this drill bit and just slid it through. And tapped it with a hammer just to give myself like a little center punch. And then drilled that hole, so then ended up like that. So I got two bolts in, and then did the same with the bottom hole, just from the back side. Came through with a drill bit, marked the center, then drilled it out. So now I got that. Now I can I'll radius this bottom hole, and then I'll just trim it, make it look pretty, clean it all up. So that's what I do with this one now. Go to the other side, say start with this hole here, get it mounted, find the center of this hole, drill it out, do the bottom hole, and trim them up. To bend them, I just set on the brake, you can, there's a gauge, so you can set it so it bends the same amount every time. And I just marked my lines, I just bent it. I just like bent this one, turned it, bent this one, and that keeps both tabs parallel to each other. So then I just did that, then came back, and if I needed to go a little bit more, just kept going until I got the right offset. So it really wasn't too bad. So yeah, so I'll get these cleaned up and show you what they look like when they're done. So there you go. Upper mounts are done. Happy with the way that turned out. Probably a little thicker than it needed to be, but look cool. So now the next task is to mount the electronics. So you got your CDI and coil, and that's it. I mean, the wiring on this bike is crazy simple. You got just got a few wires and a stop button. So I'll put the gas tank on and figure out where I can mount these two and keep them out of the way. One step closer. Alright, so today's a new day, new adventure here. I got the bike kind of mocked up again. I got the coil, I made a bracket here, got the coil mounted. Gas tank kind of sits right over top of that. I stuck the CDI box up here, but now I see that the radiator is actually hitting it, so I'm gonna have to move that over. There's actually already a frame, a hole in the frame, kind of like that hole that a nutsert fit into. So I just shot a nutsert into it. But I'll just have to move that. I did remove the factory. There were some tabs here for look like a voltage rectifier or something like that. So I removed them to clean it up. Yeah, see with these radiators, the crossover, the bottom crossover is straight into the head here, so that's not going to work. So I'm going to cut that 90 off, and then I'm going to make it so we can go from the bottom of this radiator straight into the head. And then on the other side, we'll go from the bottom of the right radiator back down into the water pump. So we'll go from the water pump into this radiator, cross over and back down in. On the 250 we took this off of, they actually fed together. So they actually there's a Y pipe somewhere here. So there was this Y pipe that tied the two radiators together, and they were tied together at the bottom. So they actually flowed together. They actually flowed up and then back down as one, where we're gonna go kind of in a loop. But so it'll work fine. That's how plenty of bikes are. I got a whole bunch of hoses from Jared, and so got plenty of options here to figure out what we can make work. Did get the brake pedal put on. Let me a little tab off the frame for the return spring. The clearance is, there is clearance, so you know, pretty awesome that it fit. I didn't have to bend the lever or nothing, so should be good. But yeah, let's get going here on these radiators. Alright, so now you can see that I cut off the 90-degree fittings here and then down there. And then on the opposite side, I cut that one off too. So we got all those now. That I don't think we're really going to be able to use them. This here, I'm just going to cap these two. Then on the bottom, you know, instead of having a 90, it'd be much better to have a straight. So I made this on the lathe real quick. So I'm just going to weld that onto the bottom, come straight down, cap these two, and then that side there I haven't figured out yet. I don't know if I have to make another fitting or if we can just turn a 90. But let's get this side welded up and see how it looks. Alright, so over here on the left side, I think I'm just going to try to weld on one of these elbows. Do that. Like, well, actually, like here I was a little concerned how close it's going to be to the head. So I think I'm going to just take this brass plug out. I'll cap this hole and I'll rotate this way. I'll weld that in that spot. And that'll give me more breathing room. That should work. Alright, take two. I started videoing this and this plug shot out, almost hit me in the face. But yeah, so I got that elbow welded back on and the other side capped. And I figured I'd show you how I leak check these things. This is something I came up with for like repairing snowmobile heat exchangers. But all it is a Harbor Freight blowgun, some plugs off Amazon, and then I got these off Amazon as well. They're actually for like HVAC systems, I think. Something like they like sweat these on, and it's for like charging the system. But they were cheap. I mean, I might have 30 bucks into the whole thing. And then this hose is something my cousin gave me. He's a HVAC tech. But yeah, so it just lets me cap it up and put in a little pressure, so I can just bring it up slowly. So now it's sitting at 20 pounds. Yeah, say last time that cap shot across the room. But yeah, so just spray it down with some soapy water and look for any bubbles. You can also check too, because the pressure is holding. It's not leaking down at all. So it should be good. You can see. Yeah. So, yep. Ready to go back on the bike. Alright, there we go. So we capped off the one hole. I drilled out and welded on, fitting on this side. See, this side's done too. Got the new nipple welded on, other two capped off. So, water pump in the radiator, through, back down, and then into the top of the head. Alright, so now I'm working on the exhaust. Sorry, I think I got a little ahead of myself and start cutting it up before I showed you. But so this is the neck off of the KX pipe, and then I cut the flange off of this pipe. This pipe is actually for a CR 500, but it's lower profile, so we thought it would work better. And so you can see it's pretty close. So I got that tacked on there, and I have clearance between the pipe and the frame all around. Looks good. This dent here was probably for clearance on a Honda. I'm gonna see if I can work that out a little bit. And then this section is gonna have to go in here somewhere, but I think I'm gonna trim this back a little bit and try to pull it in, and then give me a little bit more room. Right there, there's supposed to be a this fitting goes on the head there, and that's interfering right now. So I think if I cheat this back a little bit, and probably have to massage a little bit bigger of a dent in it, I think I'll be able to make it work. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to probably cut it in a different spot and try to shift the whole pipe over, but I'd rather not do that. So yeah, keep working on it, see how it goes. All right, now, so I got this piece tacked on here, and like I said, we got good clearance all around this now. And so now I'm working my way back to the silencer. So now this piece over here, this is what I'm gonna have to weld on there next. And then this this flange that it has on here, so that doesn't work with. They're about basically the same size as the. We're gonna use this titanium FMF silencer. I believe this is for like a Beta 250, 300, something like that. Something Jared had. So, but the factory, well, actually, this is a FMF power core off that 500. Has this different flange on it. That actually, this actually slips in there good. So that fits good. So I'm gonna actually cut this. I'm gonna cut this section off, and then weld this onto this, so we'll get a good fit here. So that's going to be the next step. I got that rubber boot off, so you can see better now. Yeah, so those are perfect. So yeah, so now we'll just cut this off here and figure out how to fit the muffler. So with the muffler on here, you can see where that pipe runs. We're gonna have to stick that in there. See, that's obviously too long. I think I'm just gonna cut this off, cut this whole pipe off, and then that'll let me move it around where I want it. Can't really change this portion. This piece of this will be a piece of the muffler because it slips together here. This obviously can be shorter, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get that. We'll try that. We'll try cutting this off. I'll cut this off first, and then I'll shorten this piece right down and see if we can make it work. If we need to, I can always cut a section out of the middle here and shorten the whole system up. There. Now we can slip the pipe right back in the way it was. Alright, so looking at the way this piece kind of lays in there, not real worried about the way it's fitting to the pipe. I can trim the pipe and I can shape this cone part to fit that, but this offset, that's the hardest part. So I'm going to shorten this piece up as much as I can. I'm going to take that middle section right out and try to get this the end of this pipe closer to the frame. Okay, I think I got it figured out. So you can see I fit those two pieces together, and then you can see how it's gonna all kind of go. Got good clearance for the shock and the master cylinder. Yeah, so let me pop this back off.
So this piece, these two pieces will get welded together, and then I can get it off here. Sorry, these two pieces slip together. So this piece will get welded to the welded on the pipe. Like I say, then this piece will be welded onto here, and then that will be welded onto there. So it'll still slip back apart and should be good. Let me get it tacked up and I'll show you. So there you go. Look at this beautiful skid plate. This is sponsored by Enduro Engineering. This thing is beefy. Nicely machined. Chamfers and everything. It's really unfortunate I have to cut it. So, let's see, try to do this one-handed. Yeah. Trying to get it up on there. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see, but yeah, so the water pumps. This little neck there is hitting, so sucks because I don't think my welds are gonna look that nice. I think I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna cut it. I don't know. Maybe I'll cut it at that seam right there, and the whole way across. And then hopefully I can. I don't know. Sucks if I have to cut the whole thing, but this just needs to bend out. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to rework it, weld it back together, and not lose any of these nice parts. But yeah, we'll have to cut it up and see what we can make happen. Alright, so I unfortunately had to cut this piece off. So that's how it looks right now. So it is, the rest of it's on there. I'll show you the left side. It clears the ignition cover okay, and the shifter will clear. So yeah, this side looks sweet. So yeah, so now around to the right side. This piece here, like I say, it was hitting here, so now I have to do something. I think if I bend it at more of an angle and then trim some off, I can pull it in. So that's what, give that a try. Alright, so I did a little bit of bending on it now, and oops, kind of see and get it to kind of follow the profile now and have clearance on the water pump. You can see down there how there's a difference in the angles now. And then I marked it from about a ½ inch in the center there, and then going out to nothing on each end. So it looks like if I trim that portion off, I should get it to kind of slide back in there. So yeah, we'll trim it out and see if it fits. Alright, so I got this trimmed and I had it tacked in place, and I had good clearance on the water pump, but then I remembered I had this big pipe to fit on there, so I did do a little notch there, but yeah, I gotta go a little more on that notch. And then this wing is hitting the pipe pretty hard, so yeah, I'm better off not welding this piece on at the moment. I need to notch just a little bit more, and then I think it's just gonna be best just to remove this upper guard. The pipe is all over it, and I don't think it's really doing much at that point anyways. So unfortunately I think I'll trim it back just below the weld. Then maybe I'll leave like this lower portion, but pretty much that whole vented section is gonna have to be removed. So this is remember, this is a 4-stroke frame, so this is a 4-stroke skid plate, but now we're putting a 2-stroke in it. So, you know, these wings and stuff, I'm sure would be different if it was on a, if it was designed for a 2-stroke. So, yep, that's where we're at. All right, now got the skid plate on there, kinda. Let's see here. Let me slide around the other side here. So I did trim this all out to the minimum, I guess, to get the pipe to fit. But it is just, it's I had to put it on with the rubber mallet, so it's hitting the frame, or hitting the pipe here, and then in this corner too, it's hitting there. So for what it's worth, I don't think any of this is really even necessary now, because I mean the pipe's all there. I mean, I don't really see any of that being super crucial right now. I'd rather have the clearance than having the pipe stuffed into it. So I think my plan is right about on this bend here. I think I'll just I'll put another pipe in, put another frame tube in across there. I'll cut the skid plate off about at my finger, and that'll give it something to fasten into. And I think we just get rid of everything from here up. I mean, we still have all this. I can make the wing work. That way I'll be able to have a mount come down, have a hanger on this, and still have a shield protecting this. So I mean, that's what I was most worried about, was protecting the water pump. So I think we could still achieve that. But yeah, for everything that's up here, it's just causing a lot of interference, and I don't think it's really worth having. So I guess we just keep trimming. All right, there you go. I think it's gonna work pretty good. Did a lot of trimming over here, and I kind of bent this piece in and kind of curved it around a little bit to kind of follow the frame. I don't know if it's really too necessary, but you know, I didn't want to trim any of these holes. I didn't want to cut through like the middle of any of them, so I left all the holes intact like that. So it looks pretty cool. And then on this side here, once I weld this little extra, you can see how this little tab here, this little portion at the top, I'm gonna curve that in a little bit just to give myself a little bit more clearance here. But other than that, it's pretty cool. I'll weld this up, and then I think once I get these, I think I'll maybe stop about here, weld the majority of it, and I'll probably just take like a couple crescent wrenches and kind of just twist these two, get them closer, and then I can take a piece that I cut off and fill it in. I'll show you what I cut off these things. So I've been using the bandsaw. It actually works really good. But yeah, you can see everything that we cut off. So yeah, definitely had to lighten it up a bit, but yeah, that's what had to happen. Like I say, not having that upper portion, I mean, so we got a little bit of a hole here now. Doesn't really matter. So that'll be cool. Like I said, I'll get that welded up, and then we're gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do with this exhaust hanger. If I'm gonna relocate that or what. So we gotta do a couple exhaust hangers, finish welding the pipe. But yeah, making progress. Didn't turn out too bad. Got it all welded up. So I added just a little patch panel in there. And I did bend this in a little bit, give myself a little more clearance on the pipe. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I was a little nervous at first. I didn't know if I was ever going to make it work. Next, I'm going to have to add in this little tube here. I'm going to have to add another one in down here I'll put one down in here with the, so I can fasten the skid plate to that. And then up here I need to finish welding the exhaust. These little hooks for the springs, I need to cut these off and move them. It only needs to be 3 inches from the eyelets on the head to the ones on the pipe to work properly. So I'll get those moved around, and then I also need to do the hangers. So I'll do a hanger here and probably another one up in here. I'm thinking for this one, looks like I might be able to get off of the frame tube up in here. Maybe make a bracket and then have it drop down and have a rubber mount between the two. So if I can do that, that'd be cool. Nice to not have to redo that. So yeah, looking pretty cool. Alright, so I think I'm done fabricating on this thing. You got the exhaust mounts on. I made a little bracket off of the frame there that the rubber mount bolts into, so it actually goes through the skid plate. I added this hole here so you can actually take like your extension with your 8mm, reach through there. I didn't want to have to like be using like a swivel or something to get in there or have it take a long time. So yeah, as you can see, it kind of lines right up with that hole, so that'll work. I had to move this mount over a little bit to make this work, but that was no big deal. I moved the exhaust springs. I'll get the, Jared's actually bringing the proper springs over today, so that works. I got another, he's bringing another rubber mount too, but another mount goes here. Then I got the factory beta, rubber grommet between the two halves of the pipe, so that works good too. So yeah, so exhaust, skid plate, radiators, engine mounts. I did add another tube in down here too. So there's 2 bolts now that hold the, there's a pipe you can barely see down in there. So that pipe there holds that front of the skid plate. I think that's it. I mean, overall it went really pretty well. I mean, the most time consuming thing was probably the pipe and the skid plate. But yeah, super happy. Everything clears real nice. Kickstarter and brake pedal, shifter. So can't complain about that. So later today, Jared and Mark and Jared Fortner and some other friends are coming over, and we're gonna ride pit bike. So we try to do this like at least once a month. Have a little get together. It's out back behind the house here. Got a track. Yeah. So I spent like all day Thursday, I think, basically weed whacking, mowing, and my buddies bought this case skid steer, brand new, and they ride bike here, and bought that thing and dropped it off. Said, here you go. Had like 5 hours on it. I think it's got like 14 now. But yeah, got everything all lipped up pretty nice. I also have got the rototiller for the tractor, so I'm not sure what I want to do. I kind of think I want to try to rototill some of the stuff. So the track actually comes, you come off this jump, you go down, and you actually go past the canoe, go into the woods there, and you go around the outside of the pond up to that. Yeah, there's berm back up in there. Then you come around this way, hit this jump, come around here, jump up, jump back down, around, jump, bowl turn this way, back this way, around. So it's a cool little layout. There's also like, could also go into the woods there. There's like another maybe 3/4 of a mile of trails, and then that would all go around and come back out this way. So you could actually like loop them together, make like a big enduro cross. So yeah, here in a little bit, guys are all coming over. We're gonna unveil the bike and do some riding. All right, so everyone's here to ride pit bikes, and the guys haven't actually seen the bike yet, so I guess this is the big unveil. Except Jared didn't bring the fork, so we can't actually ride it.
I didn't know.
I know. All right. All right, go ahead. Let's see what's under the skirt.
Adam,
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. I hadn't even seen it yet. Yep. Ah, dude. All right, come on in, Adam. Give us the rundown.
Cheers.
Look at that skid plate I gave you. You did so much to this thing.
Yeah. So the kicker actually works.
Yeah, that's crazy. Dude, sweet.
Yeah. We had-
Holy smokes, dude.
yeah, moved all that.
Carb looks amazing in there.
Oh, I didn't even mention the carb yet.
Yeah, we got a.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna save all the good sponsored goodies for the next video, but
It's all right, it's on
you can
there.
see a little something in there. But, yep.
I can't believe, like, let's just talk about, like, the angle coming out of here.
Yeah, I mean, that was
that.
all pure luck.
That was pure luck.
Adam texts me, he's like, I need 3 inches from here to here. And, like, I whipped the tape measure out at the shop, because that was at the shop, and it was, like, exactly 3 inches.
Yeah,
I'm like,
and
oh
and
my
the
God.
diameters were the same.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
So-
none of this makes sense on how
Yeah.
any of that worked.
Dude.
That's
Yeah, I mean,
crazy, all this
once I
clears.
drilled the engine out and put the swing arm bolt through, and then I set the angle of the engine to get the sprocket where it needed to be. Like literally everything else just fell in line. Like I say, like the brake lever not smacking the clutch cover.
Yeah,
that's
by,
just like
millimeters.
that's just by chance, you know. So
That's exactly perfect.
that's just where it wanted to be.
I know.
We do have sponsors coming on board with this cover and with that there.
Yep.
Which
Yeah,
one?
so we got reeds and a Boysen cover for it.
Yep, they're gonna, it's at the shop, I think. Unless they gave it to you, I don't know.
Wow.
Dude, look at this pipe, Adam.
Yeah, the pipe's insane.
gosh.
I can't believe how friggin'
It is tight. Yeah, like
We've got a Beta chassis, a Kawasaki engine, and I gave him a CR500 pipe. like how?
literally is.
Dude, it doesn't even look like.
Yeah.
what's the
looks-
silencer
it
off
looks
of?
factory.
Is that like a 300 or something?
Yeah, that came off a 300 two-stroke. That's a TI. That's like.
Titanium.
Adam's like, let me give me a stock. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got titanium here.
Dude, it looks so.
So you had to totally modify. You cut the tip off.
I cut it off here too. I cut it here.
Oh my gosh.
I cut it here, there, section that, a section here, a section there.
Wow.
Dude, look at these radiators. How they fit on there. Oh my.
Yeah, and then we had a cap two plugs here. I made a new nipple for there,
Yeah.
and then
The
over.
hoses look so sweet. Like everything like almost.
Yeah, that was a hose that was in that box of stuff. This fitting there, I capped it, and there was a brass plug here. I drilled that out and welded that on. So
Dude, the gas tank fits like all of it. I don't understand how.
yeah, that's what I was
it's
like
so-
thinking. I was thinking like, oh, the cylinder's gonna hit the gas tank, and we're gonna have to do like.
It's
You
freaking
got a mile of room there, so
I can't
almost
believe
put a
it.
big tank on that.
yeah, you can put a big tank on it now.
I
You
don't
do
know.
it
Put it back on there. Let's see. Well, yeah, because this
You
side
got
of
a
the
ton of
big
room.
tank doesn't come down anymore. I don't think.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, this here is
Because of the kicker.
huge, you know.
Ooh, we might be able to.
You can fit your fist in there, so I
You
mean,
guys might be able to fit a big
we
tank
only
on
have
this.
to go like an hour each, right?
Yeah, Mark's like, wait a minute. We're not doing 4 laps.
I don't want to race 2 hours each turn.
Oh yeah, Deanie's not here, McCoy. So
Yeah.
those are the other 2 guys. Deanie's at a
This thing is so.
stunt show.
monstrous.
He's doing stunts this weekend.
so next here we're gonna have to blow it apart, powder coat the frame,
Yep.
engines to get vapor blasted,
Yep.
rebuilt.
Yeah, we got to work on that. What is this? June 1st,
June 1st.
and it's August something. I feel like the race is. So we got.
July.
I thought it was July. We have like a month and a half.
Yeah. So we have like a month. You're gonna have to. You wanna test this thing too a little bit.
24-hour race, July 20th. We have exactly 1 month and 19 days.
So
Mitch Payton's coming on board to rebuild the engine, right? That's what I heard.
We talked to Mitch, like actually Mitch himself, and he's not. He's over KX 500s.
Really?
I had Carson at the last Supercross round talk to him, and I think he's off. He's not in
Really?
racing. That's okay though. I don't know. Like from what I heard, the guy that owned this bike actually rode it, so it might be okay. That's like the issue I'm having on myself is like if we spend the money or run it. Like, and I don't care about that part of it. It's just doesn't need it. I don't know. And it's really sketchy looking up parts trying to find a good crank for an 88.
Really?
Did we think this is an 88 or 89? I don't remember.
That was
Did we
89.
determine
89,
that?
I think.
89? So, but that changes though. That's the crazy part.
Wow.
Maybe we should build it all the way, like put the forks and stuff in it, start it and run it. What do you think?
I mean, it ran fine when we took it apart.
Yeah,
So I mean,
know,
I don't know,
that's
it's
the
a,
thing.
I don't know if there's a benefit to doing that. You know, with being such short time, I think we should just get going on.
Just vapor blast it the way it is. Or
Yeah.
clean it. Maybe even just clean it.
Yeah.
We got a new cover coming, so that'll be clean.
Yeah.
I could scotch brite that quite a bit and try to clean it up.
Yeah.
We are going to bring spare bikes.
I mean, you gonna pull the cylinder on it though? You're
I
gonna
don't
put a
know.
piston on it and
That's up
everything, or
to-
I don't know.
I'll let Dad decide that. You
Yeah.
guys.
Compression test and see.
Yeah.
See what it's got. We looked at the cylinder and the side of the piston up through the exhaust when we had it off, and it looked good. There wasn't a lot of scoring. So
Yeah, it did look good.
send it. Because that would add to the story. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we bought this bike, we didn't rebuild it, we raced
That
it for
would be-
24 hours straight. Like,
Yeah.
pretty borderline as is.
So Adam, I think the next step, if you're on board with it, is we pull this thing apart, get everything powder coated. We'll clean the engine as best as we can. We'll get the front end over here. We'll get the front end. We can all work on it together. Get the front end on it, and we're not far off from starting this thing. Really.
No.
Dude,
Like-
it's freaking beta. Like all of this is so sick. And then it's gonna live in the showroom.
You're gonna have people want to buy
Oh, yeah.
kits to do this.
For sure.
We're gonna have to have you build a second pipe for it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know if that one's gonna make it.
Oh, it'll make it. Yeah, it'll make it. Just have Mark bring
I really
his
can't-
hydro.
I really can't get that smashed in. 'Cause
Yeah, I mean, it can't go much. It's just gonna. I mean, it's really pretty compact compared to most other.
feels heavier, dude.
That's why we did the gnarly pipe because it is thick.
Yeah, it's thicker. It's
Well,
one
yeah,
gauge
it's
thicker.
Because the fatty is like does not sound like.
No, that's a thick pipe.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude. Literally, like forks and foot peg. Like we're so close. Adam.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Your ability to do this stuff is just can't describe it. Look at the freaking skid plate. I gave you like a standard beta skid plate, and you got that on there.
Yeah, that looks amazing. Like the pipe mount through the skid plate. That's
Yeah.
sweet.
Such a story, Adam.
Little access hole.
Get it off.
People don't understand like how much work that you put into this to make all that.
I love that the skid plate actually mounts right to the little cross member bar too.
Yeah, I added that in there just because you know.
Yeah, just nothing wrong with it. Like literally everything looks like better than factory. The welds are incredible.
I say we clean it, and then we'll bring spare bikes to the 24-hour race.
He even made
Spare bike. Spare
even made
bike.
the
We're gonna bring
This-
a couple bikes.
this is
so that
500.
you could slide it over logs and you won't ever break that 8mm bolt off. Like look at the bolt that holds the back.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually
That's
once I get the engine out, I'm gonna actually weld a nut on that too, or machine a block.
That's so cool. Instead of it, so it's not that clip.
Yeah, I don't like that clip thing.
I think it's sweet though that you recess the bolt up there so you can't catch it on stuff.
Oh, that's how it already was from Enduro. That thing's sick.
Appreciate it, dude. Thank you so much for doing this.
All right, let's go ride pit bike.
Let's go ride pit bikes.
All right, that's it. We had a successful day of pit bike riding, and the guys got to see the 500 build. So I think it all went well.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this. So what's next now?
So next is going to be stripping it down, final assembly, and then riding it, which we probably should ride it at night too. So we got to get back together. I was going to bring the headlamps for the boys tonight. They were going to do some more pit bike riding later, but forgot them. Super busy at the shop, so the bike right at 4 o'clock. That was sick. 3 bikes today. So great day at the shop. Thanks for having us over.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bike's coming along so good. You're crushing it. So disassemble, powder coat, final assembly, test it. So that'll be its own video, I think.
Yeah.
And then the next video will be 24-hour race with this bike. So, and then they're doing a kids class for 24-hour race too. So, pretty pumped on that. So, I think we're doing good.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Yep, see ya.
You got the right idea, Adam.
I believe in you.
I think it needs a little more though, bud.
How are you standing so close to
I'm melting.